Everyone, it's Lorica here. I hope you are all doing well. I can't believe that January is over already. It's been quite a fast moving month, hasn't it? I would say I started my year really on a positive note with my reading. I'm feeling quite happy with what I've done and what I'm still doing so far. I'm very excited for this year's reading. So I'm going to just start first with the books that I have read this month. And then I have a few plans for next month. So, yeah. Uh, uh, I'm following I'm following Candy from the Great Literary Rabbit Holes book challenge that she has on Storygraph, and I will link it below as well as her video. Every year she does a book challenge, and I took part last year, and I want to take part this year, but I'm not sure if I'm going to have time. But in the end, I decided I'm just going to do it. So I think I can do this. So this month was for January was to read a book that has a name in it. I think it's Name-uary or something. I don't have it in front of me now, but a book with a name in the title. So I read a couple of books with names in it in the title this month. The first one is that I would say I will use this for the challenge. Is I read Rebecca Romney's Jane Austen's bookshelf, The Women Writers Who Shaped a Legend. And there's the book. Oh, I really enjoy it. I enjoyed this book. It's super nice. I got it from a friend of mine for Christmas. Evie from Evie, Fairy Wren Whispers or Fairy Wren Nest. I will link it below as well. And this book feels so soft and beautiful. And what it is, basically, it's a book of women writers that inspired Jane Austen. And we know because these books were found either on her shelves or she wrote letters to her friends or family about certain authors. And so what is interesting with this book is Rebecca Romney goes further. When there is an author, for example, that she highlights, like especially Anne Radcliffe, I talked a little bit about in another video earlier this month, and I will link that below as well. She doesn't just talk about, Jane Austen was inspired by this person, but she goes in detail a little bit about the author and all the times that she talks about them, and if she refers to that author in a book that she writes. It's really super interesting book. If you're into Jane Austen, this is a really nice companion book to have if you read any of Jane Austen's books. So I enjoyed this book so much. And then I also finished 2 other books. So I finished 3 books this month, I reckon. I might have done something on Kindle, but I can't keep up. This book I found very interesting. It was a good read. It's called Theatre of Marvels. Behind the spectacle, there are always secrets. And it was written by Leanne Dillsworth. I really liked the cover. That was why I got the book. Most of my books I buy because of the cover. Really nice book. It's a penguin. And it's about this young woman whose name is Zilla. It takes place in London, and I'm going to read the text on the back for you. Zilla's star turns as the great Amazonia has taken her from the slums of St. Giles to headline billing at Krillik's Variety Theatre on Drury Lane. She's proud of her Black and British roots, but if audiences discover she is fooling them each night, her existence will be shattered. When a fellow stage act goes missing, Zilla determines to save her, for she knows better than anyone the dangers that hide within the gaslit streets of London. Her pursuit of the truth takes her through the underbelly of the city to the parlours of Mayfair, and sees her caught in a web of lies and between two powerful male admirers. Everyone is playing a part and everyone has secrets they'll protect at any cost. Will Zilla face ruin, or will she be the maker of her fate? I liked how it ended. It was a good ending. Very, very powerful and positive. I read the book, and it was a good book. It was an interesting book, but it wasn't maybe I wouldn't say it was my favorite book, but it was a good book. It hadn't had a good story. It was a different time in the world. So yeah, it was good. Then the other book I read, oh my gosh, this book, I talked about it as well a little before. It's called Cape Fever by Nadia Davids. And I talked about it in my previous video. This book made me cry so much, and it made me look at myself. It was like a mirror being held up to my face of how ignorant I was about things in my own country. So this book takes place in South Africa after the First World War, and it's this girl called, what is her name now? Soraya Martas. And she goes and works basically in an English lady, a British lady, who has an old house in Cape Town in South Africa. And she goes and works there as like a servant. And it tells the relationship between these two women. And you always theoretically think how tough it must have been for these servants, how hard their lives were. But when you actually read a book like this, it just literally, you cannot even begin to understand how hard their lives were. It was a tough read. I'm not talking about physical struggles, but the mental struggles that these people experienced. And this relationship is between the woman of the house and the servant lady, girl, is it became very toxic because the lady of the house, Mrs. Hutton, she writes letters to Soraya's intended. She's going to marry this guy. And Soraya tells her she can't read or write. So this Mrs. Hutton writes the letters. And it's getting really dark in there. And Soraya also can see spirits from ghosts, basically. It becomes very a very heavy book. But oh my God, anybody interested in the relationship between a servant and a master, or between about the time in South Africa during that time when after the First World War, when it was still a colony of Britain, I recommend this book. A fantastic book, but for me as a South African reading it, there is an extra layer added to it that I really am happy that I read this book. Nadia Davids, Cape Fever. I completely read the book. Okay, so that's what I finished reading. Now I'm also a book or two books that I'm continuing to read and I won't finish because it's already the end of the month. I won't finish this month is Emily Dickinson. I talked about this as well. I'm reading the letters of Emily Dickinson at the same time as I'm reading her poetry, the complete poems. And together I will read a year in the letters and then that year in the poetry after I read the letters to see how her thoughts and outlook dictates how she writes her poetry. So very, very interesting. And I was so touched by by her writing that I made this little book by hand of some of her poems, and it was just so touching for me that I just had to do something physical. So I made this, and I made a little video flipping through it. So if you want to look at that, I'll link that too below. Lots of things. So I think I'm about, like a little over, not too much more to go on the poetry, and on the letters, I'm a bit over half. So I'm really enjoying it. I'm just going to keep on working my way through those. And then I'm also busy reading, which I'm about halfway through, is the Pocket Pema Chodron, which is the Buddhist nun, Pema Chodron. And I actually bought this for a friend of mine for Christmas. And she enjoyed it so much that she kept on telling me, have you seen that? Oh, this sounds so good. Oh, I think you'll like that. And I didn't own the book. And I thought, okay, well, I got to buy it for myself too now because this is not going to... She was so happy with it. So I decided to buy myself a copy. And I'm reading it super slowly. It's very short pieces written by Pema Chodron, just about life, and it has a headline on each one. This one says, "Don't let life harden your heart," and this one is "Our birthright. Move towards difficulty." It's a classic Pema Chodron, very well written, complicated Buddhist ideas, but she makes it so simple for us to understand. I'm loving this book, but I'm forcing myself to go slow because I just want to enjoy and appreciate it. And then for Candy's book challenge for February is Fanguary. So last year I read Dracula for the first time. Buddy read it with Candy, and I was so blown away by that book. I loved it so much. So I'm thinking I'm going to go for Carmilla by Sheridan Le Fanu, which was pre-Dracula. So I might read it. It's a thin book, so I think I'm going to go for this one for February, just to do the vampire challenge. So basically I have the plans for this month is continue with Pema, and read Camilla and continue with Emily. And in between, there are other books. Actually, I do have a book that I started. Hold on a sec. I went to Stockholm. I just came back yesterday or the day before yesterday. And I went there for a week just to explore a bit of Stockholm on my own. And one of the books I got there was Elizabeth Strout's Tell Me Everything. I'm not going to talk about it at all. I'm just showing. And I started reading it already, and I'm loving it. So I will continue with that as well for February. So I got enough reading for the month. And yeah, that's my plans for February. Just nice reading, taking it easy, not overwhelm myself. I'll show you how it looks outside my window. It's a snowy, cold, snowy day. So yes, so it's perfect for reading. Yeah, I think that's it. Tell me what you've been reading this month. I'm very curious. I always add to my to be read list of books. So let me know what you've been reading and what you've been up to. My writing, I've been doing a bit of writing, but earlier in the month. But it's you write and then you write yourself into a bit of a corner, and then you need a little break to let things shift, whatever, and then you can pick it up again. So I have learned that over the years. So yeah, this is it. I will speak to you all soon, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.